need to know, did he cut her into little bitty pieces?
I checked on her tonight, and she's not dead.
They will shoot you if they see you.
She's been frozen for 2 days. She's frozen solid. It's amazing she's still alive.
It's the middle of the night in Springfield, Tennessee, when a dispatcher takes one of the most chilling 911 calls ever recorded. A man is calling to report that he killed his wife, but the call takes a sudden and shocking twist when he reveals the true reason for his call. In a case doomed to end in sudden tragedy, police and first responders must rush into this dreadful situation to discover the truth and find the suspect before he strikes again.
And I said, lock it down now. Joe may be coming to get you.
The stillness of a quiet night is broken at 2:45 a.m. on the morning of November 7, 2014, when a bone-chilling call comes into 911.
911 location of your emergency.
Yeah, Springfield, Tennessee. It's right behind Oakland Farms.
Okay, what's going on?
All right, this is what's happened. I've been married 12 years. On the 4th, which would have been 2 nights ago at 4 a.m., I shot my wife in the temple of her head.
This detail, combined with the man's oddly calm demeanor, are already eerie enough, but it's what the man says next that is truly terrifying.
I thought I killed her, and I put her in the freezer out in the garage. When I checked on her tonight, and she's not dead. She's got a big hole in the temple of her head, and to get her body moved around in there, I think I broke her wrist. You know, she was frozen from being in the thing. She's been in this thing 48 hours now. This is no prank call. I need somebody to get out there and help her. I've cleared the premises. I've got away. You know, I'm not going to be there. But I promise you this is a legit call, and I need somebody to get out there and help her, because I still love her. It's hard to believe that after that, you know, but I need to get somebody out there to help her.
The call is coming from 45-year-old Joseph Parker, and the woman he claims to have shot is his wife, Samantha.
Okay, what happened that caused you to do that?
It's a long story. Don't want to get into it. Just want to get into getting somebody out there to help her. I left the front door open. I left all the lights on in the house. And she's in the garage. You go through the kitchen to get into the garage. And you'll see her once you get in the garage. And she's a mess. She can't talk. I could get her to blink. Blink once means yes. Blink twice means no.
These horrifying specifics are almost too ghastly to believe, especially for those who know the Parkers, like their friend Barbara, who was over at the house the previous afternoon to borrow a tea pitcher. In her statement to the police, Barbara shares that Joseph told her that his wife was sick with a migraine. Barbara said that she'd looked in the bedroom to find Samantha lying on the bed, facing the wall and covered in a blanket. Barbara further tells the police that she seemed to be asleep.
I thought she'd been dead 2 days, and when I checked on her, she was still alive. She's been frozen for 2 days. She's frozen solid. It's amazing she's still alive. I shot her with a .38 caliber handgun, and there's a big hole in the temple of her head. I didn't see an exit wound.
And how long ago did you leave there?
An hour ago.
And that's the last time you saw her?
Yes, that's the last time I saw her.
And she was still in the garage?
Yes, she's still in the garage. I made her as comfortable as I could make her. She tried to drink a little water, you know, and she couldn't talk, couldn't move her jaw. She's in bad shape. Really need to get somebody out there to help her.
It's crucial for the dispatcher to get as much information as possible from Joseph, but he makes it clear that there are some things he's not willing to share.
Okay, what is your name?
My name is Joe. I'll just leave it at that. Don't want to get arrested tonight and all that. We don't have a history of domestic disputes. You know, we've never had to call the police or nothing. We just had a real bad night a couple of nights ago and got myself in trouble. So, anyway, we really need somebody out there and help her.
While Joseph doesn't want to give away his location, police will soon learn that his background is relatively clean. The only blemish to his record is a drug possession arrest from 1987, when he would have only been 20 years old.
I love her. I still love her. I've loved her every day I've been married to her. She's had a rough stretch here.
To that end, it will soon come to light that Joseph recently lost his job as a car salesman at Rivergate Toyota in Metro Nashville. Joseph's former co-workers would later recall in exclusive interviews with Iwu how he changed in the last months of his employment.
He was really quiet. He was kind of weird. He was a salesperson, so he did talk to people. We knew something was going on with him, but it was unusual behavior, but it just grew over time.
I think he had a lot of money stress on him. He'd gotten behind on their mortgage. So I think he had a lot of weight on his shoulders that was getting to him.
Indeed, Joseph's stepdaughter would later say that the home was in foreclosure. Could these economic pressures have led to an explosion of violence?
So anyway, checked on her and she's still alive. And now I want to get her somebody to help her that knows what they're doing. And I got to stay out of trouble too, so.
Okay, we'll send somebody out there.
All right, what was your first name?
I'm not going to give you my name, sir.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Joseph's call to 911 is over, and he's left more than enough details for police to investigate. They'll find, however, that he didn't tell them everything, and there's more to this grotesque story than anyone could have imagined. Police arrive at the house at 2:45 in the morning, and as they peer through the garage windows, they have the first confirmation of Joseph's grisly details when they see red hair peeking out from blankets and protruding from the top of a freezer. Even before they make an entry, a be on the lookout report goes out to the Metro Nashville area for Joseph Parker, said to be driving a white Toyota Camry. The idea that Joseph could be anywhere is unnerving, even for his sister Patty, who later talks to an investigator.
I refuse to leave the house. I know Joe's going to call me. I feel like he's been outside our house that night. My husband saw a white car, a strange car in our driveway. We're not in the kind of neighborhood that you just pull up in.
Is Joseph merely planning to make a clean getaway, or does he have more nefarious intentions in mind? At 3:23 a.m., police enter the house to find it clean and spotless. There's no trash anywhere, and every trash can has been emptied. It strikes officers as a clear attempt to destroy evidence. But there are other odd discoveries in store that don't seem to be directly related to a crime.
Have y'all known that he's OCD?
Not that bad. Hit over 1,000 chapsticks.
Yeah.
But it's in the garage that the police learn the disturbing truth behind Joseph's 911 call. They find Samantha Parker frozen to the touch inside the freezer with a gunshot wound to the left side of her head. She is completely unresponsive, which is a stark contrast to the way Joseph described the situation to 911.
She can't talk. I could get her to blink. Blink once means yes, blink twice means no.
The police search the residence for signs of blood, but find nothing other than possible small bloodstains on the floor and carpet. That is, until they reach the bedroom and find a large blood stain on the mattress. Strangely enough, the pillows and sheets are completely clean.
Okay, she was shot in the bed, in the head.
I don't know where she was shot.
They took half the bed.
We took out, we didn't take half the bed.
The mattress.
We took out a piece of mattress about like this right here. That's the blood. That was the blood spot. No bullet hole.
Not in her head.
No bullet hole in the mattress anywhere.
The police are a long way from determining what exactly happened between the Parkers at this residence, but soon, new clues come in regarding Joseph's whereabouts. Investigators ping Joseph's cell phone only 12 miles from his residence near the interstate. At 3:42 a.m., dispatch calls Joseph back, and he tells them he's going to Chattanooga to visit some friends. The bolo is updated with the new information. If Joseph has more scores to settle, it's vital that police catch up to him as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, at the house, police realize that Joseph wasn't finished with Samantha after shooting her.
Now here's what I've heard. Oh, he cut off her hand. Specifically, he told me he cut off her ankle. I've been told she's been chopped into little bitty pieces. Did he cut off? I need to know. Did he cut her into little bitty pieces?
He did not cut her into little bitty interrogation.
What, was her head still on her body?
Oh, yeah.
Were her arms and legs?
Her arms were still attached, her legs had some work done to them.
Okay, was it an anger work, or I've got to get her in the freezer work? I know it was like both, but I don't know if I asked that right.
Yeah, I don't know that I can answer that. You're asking me what he was feeling when he cut her up, I don't know.
Was it a rage of anger? Did he cut her legs into little bitty pieces or cut?
No.
So she was not sliced up bit by bit?
There's like...
Okay, another thing.
One.
Why?
She might be in 5 pieces.
Okay, that's what I mean.
Legs, but her hands, is what I could tell. Now, she's folded up in there, so it's kind of hard to see.
Okay.
But...
Thank you.
But I think maybe 2 cuts to each leg, or 2 cuts to one leg and 1 cut to the other.
Okay.
Police may not know all there is to know about what happened here, but they know enough to realize they're dealing with a violent and severely disturbed fugitive. Unfortunately, even with his name added to the Tennessee Top 10 Most Wanted list, Joseph proves to be elusive. It's only in hindsight that police learn that he checked into a hotel in Goodlettsville for a few hours. But it's when Patty gets a phone call that this domestic homicide threatens to grow into something far more tragic.
So then I called Rivergate Toyota and asked for Troy, who I know very well, or have known over the years through Joe. And I said, lock it down now. Joe may be coming to get you.
Did Joe ever say anything to you to make you think that?
Somewhere in the morning, I got a phone call saying that Joe was going to Rivergate Toyota to take out Troy. I was medicated, prescription.
Yeah. So you don't recall who told you that?
For some reason, no, I don't. But to backtrack on that, UPS shootings a month ago, my best friend runs UPS in Birmingham, and the guy that killed those people had just been fired, and he was after her.
Yeah.
And so in my head, I was thinking, Joe can't hurt anybody else, and I was actually trying to help those people.
Right.
Okay.
Joseph's former co-workers at Rivergate Toyota would later recall the horror of that day.
Someone I believe it was somebody on his side of the family told to warn us he was headed that way. I was scared. I was in fear. I really was. I was worried that he might be parked his car down the road and walked back up to the lot. And there was little sheds and buildings of all kinds at the old dealership. He could have got in and hid. Or if he'd have pulled in on the lot. Everybody knew Joe. They didn't hate Joe. He could have easily pulled on the lot, got out, and just went bam, bam, bam. We wouldn't have even questioned why he was there. We thought he'd just come to visit.
The Metro Nashville police send units to guard Rivergate Toyota, but there's no way to know for sure what Joseph plans to do next.
The guy that got the phone call said that he said this all started when I lost my job there. So he was going to come and take care of the person that fired him for one, and the rest of us. And we're like, we didn't have anything to do with it, but okay. And then we weren't sure who all he was going to be aiming for.
Well, we had 2 entrances to this dealership, and what they did was lock the back gate so that only made 1 entrance in and out. And we had police undercover sitting back there in their cars watching people come on the lot. They were doing the best that they could. We had people set up across the street videoing.
But despite the rumors, Joseph never shows up at his old workplace. It remains a case full of unknowns. And the biggest question of all is what might have driven Joseph to kill his wife in the first place.
We think, here's what we pieced together as the detectives that we are. That's a joke. That he killed her sometime 10 o'clock Tuesday night and they had been fighting all day because it was Mackenzie's birthday, and Mackenzie's mother has never not called her, and there was a text sent from Sam's phone to Mackenzie, a birthday text from her mother to her only child. There's a lady in Samantha's neighborhood named Karen, and she texted Karen Tuesday night and said, I've got to go somewhere, he's crazy. The text, she knows she's going to die. She knows she's going to die.
Wow.
And we feel like that on the 3rd, Tuesday night, Joe saw that text. I'm going to go to an attorney. I got to get away from him. Can I come to your house? begging. I haven't slept, I need a hot shower. I'm not. And we feel like Joe read that text, and that's when he killed her, because there was a text sitting back from Sam's phone that says, "Oh, I've decided to stay here tonight. Everything's going to be okay."
But even as both Joseph and the reasons behind his madness remain elusive, his sister learns that afternoon that the madness is not over yet.
At 3:13, my home phone rings, and I look at it, and I went, "Oh." And if you've heard the 911 tape, Joe was so calm and so cool, it was extremely eerie. I picked up the phone and said, "Oh my God, Joe, are you okay?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "What are you doing? What's going on? Whatever you've done, I forgive you. Tell me where you are. I will have somebody come and get you. I will come and get you myself. Are you in Alabama?" He said, "No, Patty, I'm just driving around." I said, "Okay." I said, "Joe, what happened?" He said, "Well, I shot her in the head, but she was asleep, and she didn't feel anything. And then I tried to put her in the freezer, but her ankle, I had to cut off her ankle because she wouldn't fit in there with her ankle. And then it really made a big mess, Patty, and it took me a really long time to clean it up."
But even as Joseph makes his second confession of the day, Patty notices a stark disconnect between what he's admitting to and his seeming inability to understand the full ramifications of his actions.
And I said, "Joe, did you chop her up and put her in the freezer?" He said, "Now, Patty, I'm not going to tell you that." I said, "Okay. Do you have a gun?" "Yes." "Where is it?" "It's in my lap." "Take the gun and unload it." "I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to prison. Can't do that." "How is she?" "Joe, she's dead." "Oh, they didn't get to her in time? They couldn't help her?" "No, Joe, she died. You cut her up and you put her in the freezer. You just told me that." I said, "Put the gun in the seat. If you're not going to unload it, put it in the passenger seat." "Okay, I'll do that for you." "You swear, Joe?" "Yes, I swear." "So is Samantha dead?" "Yes, Joe, she's dead. So they didn't get to her in time?" "No, Joe, you just told me you shot her. I just told you she's dead."
At the house, the crime scene investigators remove Samantha's body from the house and deliver her to the medical examiner while still in the freezer. The autopsy report reveals that her lower leg was amputated, her right foot was cut between the toes, and she had a gunshot wound in her temple. There was another entry wound in her right arm, and police realized that this was the reason there was no bullet hole in the mattress. They theorized that she was indeed asleep, her arm tucked under her head when Joseph shot her on that fateful night.
"We forgive you. Pull over at a filling station, put your hands up, and go in and tell them who you are." "Why? Is anybody looking for me?" "Yes, Joe. Tell the state of Tennessee you're on the #1 list. They will shoot you if they see you. They will kill you." "Well, I'm not going to prison."
After those final words, the phone line goes dead, but even as law enforcement begins to converge on Joseph's position, he calls Patty back, perhaps knowing that this would be the last time he would ever get to speak to his sister.
Now, he said, "Sorry about that, we got disconnected. I'm almost in Kentucky, and I hit a rough spot." I said, "So you're on your way to Kentucky?" He said, "Yeah, I'm 10 miles from the state line." He said, "No, they're on to me. There's a white Tahoe behind me." I said, "Joe, I said, "It's probably not a cop. Just don't speed up." And he goes, "Oh, it's a cop. He's been following me. I'm just doing everything I could to keep him on line." And in the very end, he said, "I heard the sirens. Joe, pull over on the side of the road. Open the door. Hold your hands out where they can see it. Put your hands over your head." I'm crying. "Joe, do this, please. Put your hands over your head. Get out of the car. They will help you. We will get you some help. I will visit you. They will help you. Whatever I can do to talk them out of this."
It's been at least 12 hours since Joseph made his original 911 call, but when police catch up to him on Interstate 65 in Kentucky, he's only about 30 miles away from his house. The goal is to take him in without incident, but unfortunately, Joseph Parker has decided this is the end of the line. The details of Joseph's murder of Samantha underscore his capacity for cold ruthlessness, which means the cops must exercise the utmost caution as they approach the vehicle. But even with their careful approach and desire to end this manhunt peacefully, they cannot stop the tragic, violent ending.
And he said, Patty, I love you, and I'm sorry. Well, I guess it's time now. Gotta go.
Police converge on the idle Toyota, but when they open the doors, they see that force won't be necessary. Joseph has taken his own life, using the same .38 caliber handgun he used on Samantha. Inside the car, police find a mirror with a white substance on it along with a short straw. This evidence coincides with the toxicology report, which shows Joseph had a host of strong medications in his system. While the manhunt doesn't end the way police would have liked, the finality of it is welcome news to the terrified employees of Rivergate Toyota.
Not to be cruel, but that was kind of relief.
Joseph's sudden burst of murderous violence would leave a lasting impact on those who knew him.
That isn't something that you just get over. You hear about it, you worked with him, and to the degree of where he went with all this was just, it scared you. It just scared you.
But unfortunately, the root cause, the true reason behind Samantha's murder, remains a mystery.
Everybody's just like, why?
But my dad...
I thought somebody asked me that, my wife asked me, said, what happened? I said, a freaking wire come loose in his head or something.
Samantha Parker was 44 years old at the time of her death.